This is TTP Season 2. I'm here with Niagara-based rapper extraordinaire Nick B. How you doing, brother?
What's up, man? How's it going? Nice introduction. I'm like Kyle just said. I'm Nick B. I've been doing the music thing, the rap thing, for about 4 years now. I'm a part of a group called B Packs, but I also do solo stuff. We were known as the two kids that kind of took Southern Ontario by storm in 2019, as it's storming outside right now, by doing a lot of those live performances throughout back in the day. But unfortunately, a pandemic stopped it. I don't know if you've heard of the pandemic, but yeah. Yeah. So basically, I just write, I rap, I do marketing, I do directing videos, I do merch designs, all this stuff. So I kind of jack of all trades, if you could call it.
Absolutely. 2020 was a big year for you music-wise with the release of So Warm, personal favorite, Gasoline, Lane, and then your EP Beezus. What would you say your process was like in that year? How did you go about writing and releasing? Did you lock yourself in the studio some days, wait for inspiration? What's the rundown?
Right. 2020 is just, that messed up year. Of course, everyone kind of have to reconstruct their process in a whole different way. Me personally, I was used to, like, throughout 2019 to go through hell days with BPAX. Like, we would go to the same studio down at LHQ in Welland, and those like free sessions, we just go and like knock out an album pretty much every time we'd go. But of course, through COVID, when 2020 started, was just, no one was open and we couldn't do anything. And I still don't, but especially back then, I didn't have any what's it called, recording equipment or anything to do it remote. So it was kind of just like, all right, all I can do is write. So I just wrote like a really bunch of songs that like ended up being on Beezus and on Escape from Reality and on the YB tape. So like all these songs ended up like coming out eventually. But throughout, I think it was literally May was like the big year where I just wrote all those songs, and then June, July, stuff started opening up again, and we just locked in the studio as soon as we could. I was spraying down the mic and the doorknob of the booth. Like, I was doing super COVID conscious, but like, we really locked in there. And like you said, So Warm started off as like my kind of like my send off from the solo era back in the year. And we did the music video with Ronnie, which was, of course, that's still one of my favorite moments,
Iconic.
one of my favorite days.
If there was an artist or if there was someone looking to become an artist, what is one golden Nick B piece of advice you'd give them?
Budget wisely. Unfortunately, I'm going to take the finance aspect of this because it is expensive. If you want to make music and you want it mixed right and you wanted it recorded right, until you get good at it, you're going to have to pay someone to do it. And my personal advice is the mistake I made. A lot of my early stuff was recorded at a very expensive studio with very expensive mixing rates. Of course, quality mixes and all that, but it's just in terms of the songwriting and stuff like that, not worth it. So my advice is to try yourself while you're starting up. Worst case scenario, you never get good at it and you just pay someone else eventually down the line. Best case scenario, you learn to mix yourself and then you're Kyle and then you're sick.
I don't know about that. I mean, getting there, but that's a really good piece of advice. I haven't heard that yet, and I've interviewed a bunch of artists taking that financial route, which I think is so important because it's easy. Obviously you want to focus on the creative and the music, but I've learned the hard way as well that you need to budget, you need to have some sort of cash flow to really create a rollout for yourself, promote a song, little things like that I never knew was possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, with all the a lot of you think recording takes money, leasing a beat takes money, mixing takes money. If you want to get a graphic designer, that costs money. If you're doing merch, that costs a lot of money. You're barely getting a return on that. Sometimes people ask you, you have to pay to perform some places, so it's just a lot of money. It's just being wise with the money you have. If you're fortunate enough to have a bunch of it and you can waste it and stuff like that, good for you. But that's just from my experience, for someone that didn't have that much money and still doesn't isn't rolling in it. But it's just be smart at the beginning and don't waste too much money until you get really confident in your craft, because I can't tell you how many times I've seen like people with their first ever song, it's mixed better than the latest Drake song, but it, you know, it's just the song isn't it, you know what I mean?
100%, especially like you see it on like promotion pages like everywhere, and I'm like, how much did they spend on this?
Right,
You know? Like,
right.
it's
Playlisting
crazy.
and stuff. Oh my god,
That's a whole other game. Like,
that's a whole different story.
still trying to compute that. And it's funny you mentioned merch as well. Like, yeah, merch was a lot of fun to do. Well, like, were the margins there? Not really, you know. Like,
Yeah.
it's tough, bro.
The merch thing is its own thing, like you said, like because you have to like either have someone design it or you're designing whatever you do, but like paying those memberships, I mean, you did drop shipping, which is always commendable too, but like I was in Serbia when that was happening, so I couldn't do much. The best thing we did was get a Vistaprint freaking coupon. It was like 50% off any order, and we ordered hella tees, but to order, like people would order from us, and then we just write it down and order them bulk, and then just drop them us. Like we'd be driving around the region dropping stuff off. That was like the best in terms of like return. But like if you're doing those like online stuff and like there's like these
there's no margin.
There's no money. So like if you want to get your stuff out there, sure, it's pretty easy. So like when I ordered your shirt, it took like a month and a half to come. But like, so I don't know why, but it got there. It's just, you know, it's good for that. It's ease for customer, but not so much for the artist.